Dylan, I am 18 and I am a straight man.
Dr. Valverde, 45 and heterosexual.
I'm Tony Spano, I'm 48, I'm gay.
Andy Stogsdill, I'm 18 and I am straight.
I'm Taz, I'm 17, almost 18, pansexual.
My name is Olivia Pacino, I'm 16 and I'm straight.
My name is Andrew Morris, I'm 17 and I'm a heterosexual.
I remember having sex education in 5th grade, but I remember knowing that there's something different before that and having these crushes and just not sure exactly what was going on. And then in that sex ed they had one paragraph in the book about homosexuality, and you say, okay, I know that's me. 6th grade, puberty hits, you know for sure. But there was no resources. When I look at what's available now, I stole 2 books out of the high school library because there was no resources. That was it. There was a fiction book and a nonfiction book that I snuck out of the library. That's all I could find until after high school. No other resources, no out teachers, no out adults, random things on television, but nothing very specific. So it was that feeling of total isolation that I'm just waiting till after high school. That was about all I could hope for.
I guess I can't say I focused on it too much. It wasn't something that I heard much about or really saw. I mean, as a kid, I didn't really pay much attention to that, but both of my parents are pretty accepting people, and I do remember growing up, sometimes they would tell me that it's okay to like the same sex and just love who you love. But I mean, when I was really young, I just didn't really pay that much attention to it. So yeah.
I mean, no one ever explicitly said anything about like males being with females or anything else. Like it was just what I've seen all the time, and it was always males with females. Even when I used to go to church, there was no speak of sexuality whatsoever. So yeah.
As I grew up, I think for sure I grew up in a very homophobic environment, and I was brought up thinking that gay people was something wrong with them, something was weird, something was broken. In fact, there was amongst my friends and friend group, I know that there was considered, gay people were considered weak. And one of the biggest insults that you could tell another guy was that they were gay or homosexual. And so things like that were used as an insult, and that's pretty much the environment that I grew up around. The other thing too is that I did not grow up around any openly gay people, so I always claimed that I remember as a kid not knowing it.
Honestly, I grew up in a pretty religious home, so sexuality wasn't a big topic, and homosexuals, I don't know, it wasn't really talked about. It was actually kind of accepted, but at the same time, it was like I was sheltered from homosexuality, so I didn't really get a feel for it or anything. Like, I didn't even know gay people existed, honestly, until like I don't even know, like 7th grade.
I could say since I was born, because I was taught that I like girls. Like, that's the whole like stereotype thing, how your parents bring you up usually in today's society, for better or worse. But yeah, I'd say the time I actually discovered I am a straight man is the first time I liked a girl in, I want to say, late 6th grade. So yeah, but I mean, to this day, like, I honestly don't know if I'm like bisexual. I just know I like girls. Like, I don't know, because Chris Hemsworth is like pretty fucking fine, but there's never really been a guy that I've liked. So
I feel like in like elementary to middle school, I had like little crushes, but I didn't really know until like high school. Because freshman year, like I first started like talking to like people who weren't like straight, and it made me feel more comfortable. Even though it took me like 4 years to like say something about it, but like I'd say I just started realizing it for real like in freshman year.
I think I discovered my sexuality. All these cute dudes, man. I was like, oh, you're cute, you're cute. I don't think I was forced like, oh, you gotta like dudes. My parents did let me like breathe a little and figure out what I like, I guess you could say. But I just always just was attracted to guys, so I didn't like. I wasn't all like, oh, like guys, like guys. Period. I don't know. I just like that's what I like. So if you want like chocolate. Sorry.
I don't think it was more of a discovery. I think it's just like I always kind of knew that I was straight. Like I don't know what it's like for people who aren't straight. I mean, I don't know. It's like I was just born that way, and people who aren't straight are born that way.
I don't like discovered. I mean, it was something that like I guess like I was always born as. Like, I didn't start identifying until near the end of like 6th grade, because like for a long time I didn't know what it was, and so like I didn't really, I guess when I discovered that being gay was a thing is when I started was like, oh, maybe I might be gay.
I feel like when you need to be yourself, period. Like I don't think it's a problem coming out. Like you should just do what you gotta do, be you, because the more that you put yourself back in like this little hole of you, like being scared to be true to yourself, I feel like it doesn't help, because it just puts you further and further back when it comes to your own personality and you having the like confidence to be you. Like you don't want to just not be yourself 100%.
I think it's absolutely necessary. Today's society, I think, needs more individuals that are closeted to come out. I think that one of the best things that Harvey Milk did during his campaign for Board of Supervisors in San Francisco was to tell folks that are in the LGBT community to really come out, because it was important for society to see who they were and who they are. There was always a stigma behind people that were gay, but we didn't, the heterosexual society didn't realize how much gay people were around us, and yet they were closeted. And so when more and more people come out, I think it just allows us, people especially that are not associated with the LGBT community, to realize, hey, they're a normal person just like everybody else. And as long as they don't do that, I think it just kind of keeps homosexuality and queerness and any of these other parts of the community hidden and unexposed, and therefore other people can't learn from you.
Oh gosh, honestly,
louder.
I'm gonna start with the second question because that's easier to answer. I feel like coming out shouldn't have to be a thing unless you're looking for a partner. Like, I feel like it's not really anyone else's business unless you're trying to be with that person, I mean, of course, it's always good to like identify that way people don't like mistake you for anything, or they don't just like, I don't know, to avoid confusion, of course, but like at the same time, like I said, it's no one's business really. So I don't know. And I also don't like how straight is the default. I think that everybody should
Like I said, I had to wait till after high school. I waited till I got to college, and I set up an opportunity to come out to a friend of mine who was a girl that wanted me to. I did take her to prom our junior year, and then my senior year I refused to take anyone to prom, and I felt, because she was a very open-minded person, that she could handle it, and I literally had to worry about how well she would handle it. So I had to come up to that one person, and I told one friend at a time. And it took, and I was 19. I didn't tell my parents until I was 24. When I told my brother, he cried. I mean, it was, a difficult process, and figure out how to be out at school, how to be out in college, and coming out to friends. But new friends, it was easier. But family members, I mean, it took a long time to do that. And it's unfortunate that, certainly even today, people have to come out. They still have to, because people assume. And unless they'll assume either way. If you look gay or act gay, maybe they'll assume you're gay. And, that shouldn't be the case, but that's just the nature of our culture and society. So unfortunately, no matter what, you're always coming out. I'm always coming out when I meet new students or new teachers, or introduce my husband. Oh, you're gay. That's for me. That's become the new easy way to come out. Instead of saying I'm gay, we are gay because this is my husband, or whatever, or when I refer to whatever. I was picked up by a Lyft driver in Denver when I flew there for spring break, and my profile picture was on her app, which was me and my husband and our dog, and so she turned out she was a lesbian, and she did ask, "Oh, is that your partner?" And a lot of people would avoid even assuming or asking that, but since she was gay, it was easier for her to make that assumption, and that was great. So it's interesting, like those are ways where you're still always coming out. You're never, no matter how many people know, you're always meeting new people who are not going to assume or whatever, and you have to come out to them again.
It sucks, and people should stop because it's bad. And I don't think I know anyone who's homophobic. I hope not. I don't like it. Not one bit.
Obviously, I hate homophobia. I hate it as much as I hate racism. And are there any homophobic people in my life? Yes, I have a friend. He is male. He hates gay guys, but he feels no kind of way towards lesbians, which I feel weird about because I'm a part of the LGBT community, so I feel weird being his friend. So yeah, this is life.
Well, I think homophobia is bullshit.
That's been everyone's answer.
I mean, but it is because you have no right to tell another person who they can marry, who they can have sex with, who they can do anything with, unless it's murder or extortion or you know what I'm saying. And homophobic, I feel like if there's homophobic people in my life, like my whole family's pretty liberal, so if they are, it's more of like a closet homophobe situation. It's like subliminal. But yeah, actually, there's a few people I know who are opposed to gay marriage because they're like hardcore Catholics.
No, I mean, it's whatever. People believe what they want to believe in, and that sucks. Some people aren't accepting as others, but that's just what's gonna happen. You can't really change people's beliefs.
Homophobia, I haven't experienced direct aggression from it. I've never had people harass me for being gay outright because they knew, because a lot of people don't know, and it's odd to me, but so it more comes in a form of microaggressions, people saying oh, that's gay and stuff like that, and it's just I don't, there are situations where it's just I don't feel I'm wanted here, or I don't feel I'm welcomed at this classroom because everyone here is on the same page about hating on gay people, but otherwise I haven't been outright harassed. I don't think I have any homophobic people within my life. I do know that some of my grandparents are very conservative in their in their values and stuff, and I'm not out to them. I do know that one of my grandparents basically disowned my aunt when she came out as lesbian, and that's why I don't come out to my grandma, but she my grandma like changed and she became educated and more accepting, and so I think eventually I will, just not right now.
Yeah, so, well, I'd say that I'd support them because that's the best thing a parent can do.
A while ago, it was the It Gets Better campaign, and that was kind of the catchphrase of, you know, that yes, it will get better. And I think, yeah, in general, that's kind of that. I wish I had that when I was younger, that yes, it's going to be difficult at first. You're going to go through trials. You're going to go through, you know, coming out to people reacting positively and negatively. You're going to have a lot of experiences, and it will get better.
I don't know. I'd rather just be like, oh, cool. So how was your day? Like, I don't. What am I gonna do? I can't be a hypocrite. Like, oh my God, you're gay. What the fuck? Like, no. That's weird.
At first, I don't know if it depends. Like, if I could see it when they're growing up, or if it was like a complete shock. I would want to say I would be accepting towards them because they're like my child. No matter what, I'm gonna love them.
Would you tell them?
I would not care if she or he came out to me saying that they like the same gender. I just be like, okay, that's cool. You know, I teach them like they can be careful, relationship stuff. I would just treat them like they would like if they were a straight couple. Like,
I don't know. I'll probably be like, for real? Like, you sure? Like, I'll make sure they. Ooh, I don't. Dang, that's hard. Like, I don't know. I feel like I just be like, yo, are you serious? You sure? And then I'll be like, okay, well, do what you gotta do, but just know. Like, I would still inform them, like, just know the Bible's not right. But I'm like, it's cool. I'm gonna still love them regardless. Like, that's my kid. Like, you came out of me, nigga. Like, I still gotta show you love. You feel me? So yeah, I'm gonna just, oh well. Like, all right, cool. We out here. Oh well. Have fun.
First of all, that I would love them, and that I would want them to, you know, first of all, be upset that they didn't tell me earlier, because I understand as a teacher and working with the LGBT community for these years as a teacher, I just feel like there could be a lot of suffering from individuals who don't want to come out and that are stay closeted, and so I would have regrets that they didn't come to me earlier. Other than that, though, I would welcome that, you know, my child with open arms. I would want them to feel comfortable around me, my family. I would want them to bring their partner and really begin to live life in a very comfortable way. I would embrace them completely.
I think I would just be the same way as my dad, like I love you no matter what kind of thing. I mean, no matter what you are, as long as you aren't a mean person to others, like, I don't care what you do with your life. Just make sure that you're not trying to hurt anyone or make other people feel bad, because that's, I don't know, that's just a sucky way to live. Like, I couldn't imagine wanting to hurt other people and putting other people in a bad position. So, I mean, obviously I'm biased and I'm like, yeah, go my gay kids, but also it's just, whatever my kid ended up wanting to be, as long as they don't want to be a jerk to others, then it's fine.
That's totally fine. Don't let anyone bring you down.